What's way more dangerous than most people think? Driving tired, sleepy. Man, I've done a full shift driving hundreds of miles, getting in and out the car for hours and filling in the reports. The worst one was I had like 2 hours sleep the previous night, and at the end of my shift I thought I saw a UFO. I was absolutely convinced. Turns out it was the moon. The dangerous part of drowsy driving is nobody really takes it very seriously. It's not like a cop will test you on breathalyzer or something, so most people will ignore it. It takes a split second to fall asleep while dreaming that you are awake and still driving and end up killing innocent people. It's the same as DUI. People know that rip currents are dangerous, but don't think about them as a real threat often enough. I'm from Florida. My whole entire life I was taught to swim parallel to shore when stuck in a rip current. They teach it in schools. There are commercials about it. The signs say it. You'd think it would be ingrained. But what does my grown ass do the first time I got sucked into a rip current? Panicked my ass off and almost drowned. I got stuck in one as a kid and I never knew about the parallel swimming. I was alone while it took me. But somehow I instinctively knew I had to swim that way to get out. I ended up around 1 mile where I was. Shit is scary as fuck. Towing a stuck car with a chain. There is a list of people who have died from having the chain come through the back window and kill them. If there's one thing I'll always stress, it's a real tow rope. Endless uses, not that expensive, you'll probably only ever need to buy one. They won't smash your skull in if they break. And put some weight in the middle, a simple jacket will do. That way, in case the rope does snap, shit can still happen. The small weight gives just enough momentum to send the energy down, so it will hit the ground or your legs. Your legs will still shatter, but way better than your ribcage or your face. This detail is something I'd never have thought of. Clutch guy over here. Listening to loud music using earbuds, or really any headphones. Having permanent hearing damage sucks. I'm 40 with the hearing of 70-year-old. Tinnitus, constant ringing in both ears. Certain music can make it worse and drive me absolutely batty. Can't hear people at restaurants and bars. What? Protect your ears. Edit. Just had a bonus feature. All ringing goes away, then a singular tone comes up in one ear at double the normal volume. Edit 2. Woke up to 146 replies. Yes, tried the hands over ears drum head thingy to no avail. Yes, headphones, in car, loud bars and heavy metal concerts have destroyed it. Edit 3. Remembered 2 things. 1. Probably got tinnitus from Metallica 2004 concert. I remember having a phone sales job where it was painful to be on the phone for 3 days. 2. Was applying for medical studies to make some summer cash. Got my hearing tested for one. Already had a high frequency loss. I was 22. I'm 20. Always hear a ring. I don't listen to loud music but have been to a few concerts. Sucks. I feel your pain. Going to a few concerts probably didn't cause your tinnitus. People can develop it for other reasons though. My friend is my age, 25, and has tinnitus/hearing issues, despite not doing anything that would significantly damage his hearing. Some people are just unlucky. Attempting to change garage door springs without knowing what you're doing can kill you. This is crazy. I had no idea. Me being cheap would probably try to do it on my own. Thanks for saving my life. Garage springs are under intense tension, and can seriously fuck you up if you don't know what you're doing. Always get a pro for garage repair. Not to worry yet, my flat is probably the same size as most garages. I think about this every time I change the strings on my 5-string bass. An 11-gauge guitar string can give you a nasty cut if it snaps, but I feel like a 130-gauge low B string could gash my neck wide open. Thankfully they never break. So far. Never try to change them in your own. Always take them to the bass pro shop. Moose. Bigger threat to people up here than bears. Edit. Clarification by up here, I mean Canada. Another clarification: we have a lot of moose and not a lot of grizzly bears. The more common bears, black bears, while still shouldn't be provoked, are a lot smaller and more timid than grizzlies. Not to mention everyone knows to be afraid of bears. They're large carnivores. Most people don't know to be afraid of moose. Hitting a moose with your car is pretty well a guaranteed fatality, but it's also highly underestimated how dangerous these things can be on their own. They can be around the same height as a transport truck and have a nasty temper if you decide to bug one. Being knocked unconscious. Lots of popular media makes it seem like a minor thing that an average person can shrug off after a short period. In reality, if you are ever knocked out, then you have suffered brain damage. It's possible there might not be any lasting effects, but it's a serious injury and you 100% need to see a doctor if it ever happens to you. Bites from other human beings are actually really dangerous due to infection rates. A friend bit me once. I turn into her every full moon. My mom got drunk and bit my dad. He had to get a tetanus shot. To give some more details, they were in Disneyland when it happened. Story I pasted into the comments. So I guess what had happened was my mom got completely trashed and was gonna go stay with some guy she had met in the park. She's an alcoholic. My dad was like, "If you go stay with this guy, you're not coming back to the room," so he locked her out. She had her fun with random guy, came back to a locked room and started pounding on the door. When my dad opened it, she bit him, and then the police were called. Thanks for the awards. I'm on my phone so the formatting is janky. Doing nothing for a long period of time. It gets addictive, and it's the hardest thing ever to get back on your feet. Can confirm. Currently sat outside my work on first day back, and damn, it was hard to get up at 6 this morning after doing nothing throughout lockdown. Eating a lot of spinach. Believe it or not, people have had kidney failure from 3 spinach smoothies in a day. This is due to the high levels of oxalic acid. Now all night long I'll be wondering if I'm spinach poisoned. Blocking your nose when you sneeze. Though it's rare, you can damage blood vessels in your eyes and nose, you can rupture your eardrum, and you can even have an aneurysm. Okay, I'll stop doing that. A kind of random one. But don't eat uncooked slugs or snails. They can have parasites that will make you paralyzed and eventually kill you. An Australian kid died a couple of years ago from it. An awful way to go. Not wearing sunblock. You reminded me of tanning beds I despise then and think they should be illegal. People will go in them completely unprotected and get blasted with UV. All in the name of vanity. It's ridiculous. Living alone. If you get seriously injured or ill at home and you're unable to reach a phone, your chances of survival are much lower than if you have at least one other person in the household. Had an older employee who lived with her son. She didn't turn up for work. Very common to no-show/no call at our workplace, just not for her. I had a weird feeling after she wasn't picking up when I called. Waited a few hours and decided to go knock on her door. No answer, but her car was there. I phoned the non-emergency police line and they showed up and broke in. She was found in her bedroom on the floor completely out of it, and turns out she had a very bad case of meningitis. She was admitted to the hospital for a month and they told her if she had been found by her son by the time he returned home from work, 4 hours after we found her, she most likely would have been dead. Trust your weird gut feelings. Edit. What the heck? Thanks to the kind souls for the awards/gold. It's super appreciated. My grandma almost died this way. She fell when getting out of the tub. Her phone was in sight but out of her reach. Her neighbors heard pounding but didn't think anything of it. She was naked and alone on the floor with a broken hip for 3 days. Edit spelling. How did she get help? She didn't drive, so my mom would take her grocery shopping once a week. My mom, her daughter, was the one that found her. My mom felt so guilty that she didn't visit or call sooner. Grandma never fully recovered from it. Anything under tension can be dangerous. Guitar strings hold around 200 pounds of tension. A game of tug-of-war can put thousands of pounds of tension into a rope. It's even been known to kill people. True story, as a 14-year-old I played a game of tug-of-war with a large number of people and the rope snapped and whipped back and hit me, leaving me with 3 fractures in my hands. 3 surgeries and lots of PT later. I'm happy to report no nerve damage, but I'm never playing that game again. When I used to compete on tug-of-war in Japan for my local community, I had to wear a helmet. It seemed ridiculous until now. Palm trees. They are so much heavier than they look and their branches can kinda just fall off without warning. Hiking in Arizona heat. Grand Canyon too. You can go down a lot quicker than up. Walking downstairs with your hands in your pockets. Never ever do it, especially not drunk. A fall down even 1 or 2 stairs with no hands to catch you can break your neck. I've seen a video of a man tripping and falling down 4 stairs, hitting the top of his head on the wall, and dying right there in the stairwell. Driving. Like you see the statistics of car crash deaths, but I don't think you ever truly realize how dangerous it is to simply drive somewhere since it is such a routine thing. Misinformation. Facebook has entered the chat. Fox News has entered the chat. Reddit has entered the chat. Deep cuts on your fingertips. They're called felons and can infect your bloodstream. Clean them out, and if you see a red line going up your arm, get yourself to the ER immediately. My neighbor almost died from this when she cut her finger on her violin string. Edit. Removed my advice about changing tires. My main point was don't go under your car if the tire's off without a jack stand, but that should be obvious. My old roommate got a cut on his finger from a broken glass in a sanitation sink, bartender, and was complaining that it was sore and swollen. I had heard about the "if you see a line going up your arm, you need to get to a hospital" thing and asked to see his arm. Sure enough, he had a red line almost to his elbow. He got to the ER and caught it in time. A close friend and coworker of mine died recently of a blood infection. We're not sure what caused it, but what we do know is that he was, seemingly, fine one day and gone the next. This kind of thing is more serious than people know. Disclaimer. With the type of infection he had, there were no red lines outlining his veins or anything, so don't count on that in all cases. A lot of household chemicals. Mix the wrong stuff and it's game over or seriously hurt. What's way more dangerous than most people think? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.